إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we thank Allah for the ability to start book 3 of the Medina series. And this is book 3 for those using the series or the edition that is in 3 parts. And this is also book 6 for those using the edition that is in 8 parts. You know, there are 2 editions. There's one edition that has 3 volumes, book 1, book 2, and book 3. And then there's another edition which is book 1 up to book 8. So if you are using the edition that is book 1 up to book 8, then this is book 6. This combines this lessons we are coming to start. It combines book 6 to book 8. And for those using the one which is in 3 parts, the 3 volumes, this is book 3. This is book 3. Alhamdulillah, they both contain the same content. It's just the difference in the series, but actually they have the same content. So book 3 or book 6 that we are coming to start, alhamdulillah, is a little bit bigger than the book 1 and book 2. Book 1 and book 2 were actually preparing us for this particular book 3. So what we learned in book 1 and book 2, it was preparing us towards this book 3 that we are coming to start. And basically this book 3 is much bigger than the book 1 and book 2. Actually, the book 1 was about 100 pages, book 2 was about 200 pages, and this book 3 will be around 300 pages. So it's quite bigger than the first 2 books that we studied. So, alhamdulillah, by the end of this book 3, we should have, because in this book 3 there is a lot that we are coming to learn. Most of the concepts that we need to know in basic Arabic, we will learn all of them in this book. So the book really contains a lot. So as we know, we should try as much. At least you have to have a book. Of course, you have to have something like a notebook that you will be writing down what we are coming to be learning, as they are a lot and we need to keep track of them. So we cannot absorb everything that is in the book 2. This book 3, as I said, is somehow broad, but at least we should get most of what we are coming to study into understanding and practice. May Allah grant us the ability to apply what we are studying in understanding the Quran. So we'll just kickstart the first lesson. The first lesson is Al-I'rabu wal-Bina. Al-I'rabu wal-Bina. And when we say I'rab is actually even though this lesson 1 that we are coming to look at, we have already studied it. We have seen I'rab. This is not our first time of learning I'rab. We have done that in book 1 and even book 2. But as I said, the author, he will bring some of the things that we learned previously and he will build upon them. He will go a little step further. He will go deeper, like we will learn it more into details. So that's what we will encounter some of the lessons to be, as I said. So Al-I'rab wal-Bina. Al-I'rab is actually the endings, the change in the endings of a word in Arabic language, mainly nouns. So Al-I'rab wal-Bina. And Bina is, from it we have Mabni, which means something is fixed. Okay, something is built. Like when a house is built, it is fixed. You can't change the location. We're not going to take the house and shift it. It is built, it is fixed there. It is where it is. You can't change it. So we have nouns like that. They don't change no matter what. You can't do anything to change their ending. So you have to leave them as they are. So those nouns we call them mabni. And we are going to look at study them also. So Arab is for those which are more the manner nouns that changes whose last letters and then changes. And bina is for nouns that are very fixed. So al-i'rab wal bina fil asma, the manner in nouns, of course. So al-ism, the author is saying that, Sheikh is saying that al-ism imma mu'rabun wa imma mabniyun. Al-ism, the manner in noun is either mu'rab or mabni. Mu'rab in the sense that its last letter can change. If something that, if there's a particular situation that demands that. Wa imma mabniyun, or it could be mabni, meaning it is fixed, it is not changed, it cannot be changed. فالمعرب ما تتغير آخره بسبب العامل. And he's saying that al-mu'rab bimana mu'rab nouns are nouns whose endings change بسبب العامل, by a particular agent. Amil is actually agent, meaning the example is harf al-jar. We all know that when a harf al-jar comes before a noun, the noun is going to be what? Majrur. So it is an agent. It's an example of an agent. Harf al-jar. Another is zarf. Sometimes some of the zuruf, when they come, they cause a particular way to take some ending. So all these are agents. That's what he's saying. Nahu example. Ja al-mudarrisu. The teacher came. So if you observe here, al-mudarrisu is what? Marfu'un. Sa'altu al-mudarrisa. I asked the teacher. Now you can see mudarris is mansub. Mansub bil fatha. But you are seeing fatha here. Then the third one, sallamtu ala al-mudarrisi. In this case, the mudarris is majrur. Majrur bimaza bikesra. So see something. Observe. Please observe. You can see here, it has dhamma. Here, it has fatha. Here, it has kesra. So such a noun, al-mudarrisu, al-mudarrisa, al-mudarrisi, it is it is mu'rab. It is what? It is an example of a mu'rab noun. Mu'rab nouns, simple are nouns whose ending can change based on a particular condition. Oh, that is correct. So that is mu'rab nouns. So let's go further and see what the Sheikh is going to say here. Then he says that these are mu'rab, but there are other category of nouns that are mabni. So he says that وَالْمَبْنِيُّ مَا لَا يَتَغَيَّرُ آخِرُهُ بِسَبَبِ الْعَامِلِ. Mabni nouns are those whose endings, آخِرُهُ, is endings, لَا تَتَغَيَّرُ or لَا يَتَغَيَّرُ, it doesn't change, بِسَبَبِ الْعَامِلِ, by any agent. Okay, by the cause of an agent, meaning if no matter what agent come after it, whether it have a jar, what comes after it, it doesn't care. It remains as it is. So example, Ja'a ha'ula'i. So this word ha'ula'i, if you can observe here, it is what? Fi mahall raf'in. It is in the position of marfu, meaning it is the doer. It is the fa'il. The fa'il normally is what? Is marfu. Now here, Sa'altu ha'ula'i. I asked those. Ha'ula'i. Still ha'ula'i. But if you observe here, it is what? Fi mahalli nasbin. Why? It is what? It is maf'ulun bihi. It is the object of the verb sa'ala. I hope that is clear. So, sa'altu, what is coming to follow is maf'ulun bihi, is the object. And we all know that in Arabic language, maf'ulun bihi, the object is always mansub. So that's what the Sheikh is saying here. Fi mahalli nasbin. It's in the position of nasb. It should be mansub. But it is still ha'ula'i. not ha'ula'a. Oh, that is clear. Now see, sallamtu ala ha'ula'i. It's still the same thing. Here, there's a harf jar, but it's still as it is. Ha'ula'i, ha'ula'i, ha'ula'i. So here, if you observe, Kesra, it is ending with Kesra. Here it is ending with Kesra. Here it is ending with Kesra. So such a noun is called Mabniyun. Okay, it's a Mabniyun. A noun which doesn't change. Its ending doesn't change. So that is what the shape begins with. But here, if you observe, please, you have to understand the difference between Marfu and then Fi Mahalli Raf'in. Marfu'un means it is Marfu. You can see it clearly. Here, Al-Mudarrisu, you can see the Dhamma. It is Marfu. But here, this Ha'ula'i, we say that it is Fi Mahalli Raf'in. It's in the position. Mahal means position. Okay, it is in the position of Raf'in. Even though it may not be Marfu, it may not have an alamatu Raf'in. It may not have any sign of it being Marfu. But when it is in the position of Marfu. Even though it may not change. Oh, that is clear. So we have to notice that. Then the Sheikh says here that al-mu'rabu wal-mabniyu min al-asma. He's coming to give us examples. Then he says that al-asma'u kulluha mu'rabatun. Kulluha mu'rabatun ma'adal fi'atin atiyah. Al-asma'u, nouns, kulluha, all of them, all nouns, mu'rabatun. They are mu'rab, meaning their endings changes if a suitable agent enters upon it. Ma'ada, except. Whenever you see this, it means except. It's for istisna, for exception. Ma'ada. As we go further, we'll still learn some of these words that are used for istisna, that are used for exception. Okay, ma'ada. It's like illa, except. So that's what it means. So he's saying that all nouns are mu'rabatun. Their endings changes ma'ada, except al-fi'atil atiyah. The following groups. Fi'atun is actual group. The plural is fi'at, which is groups, different groups. Oh, that is clear. Al-atiyah, it means following. So he's saying that with the exception of these following nouns, all other nouns are mu'rabun. Meaning if something enters upon it, the last letter can take Kesra, Fatha, Dhamma, or it will change. Oh, that is clear. With the exception of these following nouns. So let's look at those nouns which are not mu'rab. He mentioned the first one, ad-dama'ir, pronouns. Misal, example, huwa, hum, anta, antum, ana, zahabtum, qalu. So all these are pronouns. Zahab, don't see this verb and see its effect. Why is it among why is it mentioning it among pronouns? He means Zahab two, these two here. That's what he's referring to. Oh, that is clear. He said Damir al-Muttasil. The same thing here. Is wow jamo. Oh, that is clear. And then it is the pronoun. So hazihi dama'ir raf. So these pronouns, they are mabni. They are not marfu. No matter what, they will never change. Huwa will always be huwa. Even if fi comes before it, or ila or min comes before it, it will still remain huwa, whom, all these pronouns. Then the second one, he says that ra'aytuhu, you see here, this who, the one in red, okay, here, ra'aytuhu. So the who is a pronoun, damir al-muttasil, but it is not mabni. It will always be who. You see it ra'aytuha. No. Except you are referring to a female person, and that's a totally different pronoun. But this who will always remain like that. Doesn't change. It is not mu'rab. Then as'aluka. I am asking you. You never hear as'aluku. No. It will always be as'aluka. So this damir is also not mabni. It is also not mu'rab. Then darabani, this ya mutakallim, it is also not mu'rab. Then he says that kitabuhu daftaruha ismuka alayha lana. So this all doma'irul muttasila, this attached pronouns which are at the endings, they are always not mu'rab. I hope that is clear. Then the second group that he mentioned is asma'ul ishara. Al asma'ul ishara. And we all know asma'ul ishara, demonstrative pronouns that we use to demonstrate. So this, that, those, okay, all these ones, they are also not mu'rab. So example, haza will always be haza. It will never be hazu or hazi. It will always be haza. So haza, hazihi, zalika, ulaika. So all these pronouns, these demonstrative pronouns, they are not mu'rab. Then he give an istisna, he give an exception by saying that hazani wa hatani, those which are the dual, they are an exception. For those ones, they are mu'rab. They are mu'rab. Hazani, because hazani could be hazaini. If fi comes or ila harful jar comes, or in a condition where it is majrur, it will be hazaini. How that is clear. The same way or the same thing for hatani. How that is clear. Hatani, when it is in a if يعني إن كان في محل جر سيكون هاتين. If it is in a position of jar, it is going to be هاتين. Oh, that is clear. Okay. Then the third group that he mentioned is asma'ul mawsula. Asma'ul mawsula. Oh, that is clear. Relative pronouns. Example: allazi, allati, allazina. So all these ones, they are also not mu'rab, and they also have an exception. The exception is the duals. Always you have to note it. Demonstrative pronouns and relative pronouns, their duals are mu'rab. Oh, that is clear. So al-lazani, yes, you are referring to two people. But if it is in a position of jar, oh, that is clear. It will be al-lazayni. The alif that you are seeing there to change to ya. Oh, that is clear. Then al-latani, the same thing. It will be al-latayni with the alif being changed to ya. Okay, so that is the exception. But the remaining asma'ul mawsula, relative pronouns like allazi, allati, allazina, all these ones, they are not mu'rab. They don't change. Then asma'ul istifham. Asma'ul istifham are actually interrogative particles. Oh, that is correct. Example: man, who, aina, ma, mata, kaifa. All these asma'ul istifham, they are also not mu'rab. Man, you will never hear mun, or I don't know how you are going to change it. It will never change. It will always be mani like that. They still as they are. Oh, that is clear. They are not mu'rab. They are mabni. Oh, that is clear. Then the fifth category that he's mentioned is badu zuruf. Meaning some zuruf, some of the adverbs. Oh, that is clear. Some of the adverbs. Example: iza, al-ana, haisu, amsi. All these ones, they are as they are. They are mabni. They don't change. La yataghayyar. Okay. Then the sixth one, al-asma'ul af'al. Asma'ul af'al is the plural of ism fi'l. Ism fi'l. Ism fi'l is actually, we still study it as we are doing, but in simplicity, it is nouns that comes to command as if they were verbs. Example: in English, we have something like, if I say quiet, let's say I'm the teacher, I came to the class and then the class is noisy, the students are making noise, and I simply say quiet. It's a noun. I hope that is clear. It's a noun. But I am trying to use them. It's a noun, but it acts as if it were a verb commanding them to keep quiet. I'll say something, I'll mention a noun, and people will understand it like as a verb that calls for an action. Another example is if I can say, let's say someone is suffering and the person shouts, "Help! Help!" That people should help him. It means I need help. But if the person doesn't want to prolong things, you just say help. And it means what? Come and help me. He's calling for help. But actually it's a noun but it calls for action like a verb, as if it were a verb. So those ones we call them ism fi'l, or that is the verbal nouns. So he gave example, Amin. So if you are praying behind the Imam, and the Imam is reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, and then he ends his recitation of the Surah Al-Fatiha, and then he says, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. So those, the Ma'mum, the people behind him, all say Amin. So as they're saying Amin, it means, oh Allah, accept our dua. Oh Allah, accept what we are saying. So that Amin is a noun, but it calls for an action. How that is clear. We are calling on to Allah to accept what the Imam has read. May Allah not make that from the all these, they are requests that we are making. But at the end, everybody will say Amin. But that Amin is calling, you are requesting that Allah should accept what you are saying. But yes, you say now, but it calls for an action. We call it Ism Asma'ul Af'al, the same way Ism Fi'l. And as I said, as we go further, we study it into detail. How that is clear. Then Uffin. Okay, we saw this we have seen this in the Quran several times. Uffin. You are fed up with someone or you got angry, then say Uff. It's just a noun that you said, but it's to convey your disgust to the person that you are doing it to. Oh, that is clear. Okay. To another, we call this one another. You still study it. You are suffering from pain, or you are carrying something that is very difficult for you. You say or you have pain. You are trying to say that you are suffering from a pain. You are trying to convey something, and maybe call for help. Then the last category that he mentioned is al-adadul murakkaba. Al-adadul murakkaba are actually the numbers between 11 and 19. From 11 to 19, we call them al-adadul murakkaba. So those nouns too, they are mabni, except 12. 12 could be, it could change. So let's look at what he said. Misal example, ahada ashara. Ahada ashara will always be ahada ashara. You never see it ahadi ashara or ahadu ashara. No, it will be ahada ashara. Then tis'ata ashara, then thalitha ashara. Then al-juz' al-awwal min isna ashara. Al-juz' al-awwal, meaning the first part of isna ashara. And that's this isna that he's referring to. This is the first part of it, the isna. Then the ashara is the second part. So isna here could be isna or isnai, with the alif being changed to ya. How that's clear. Example, let's look at example here. Yadrusu fil fasl isna ashara taliban. 12 students study in the class. Then ra'aytu. So you see, I saw. The 12 that you are coming to mention is now the maf'ul bihi, is the object. And so يستحق بأن يكون في محل ماذا؟ في محل نصب. It is necessary or it is incumbent to be in a position of nasb. And when it is nasb, how do we show that it is mansub? We change the alif to ya. So ra'aytu is nayi ashara taliban. So this is nayi here. The ya, it has taken the place of the alif to show that it is nasb, it is mansub. The same way for marfu, for majrur. If it is mansub and majrur, the alif will turn to ya in both cases. Mansub and majrur cases, the alif will turn to ya. So that's only for 12. Only for 12, between the letters 11 to 19. It's only 12 that does that. The remaining numbers between 11 and 19, they remain as they are. They are mabni. okay, لا يتغير, they don't change. Then he says that علامات الإعراب الأصلية والفرعية. There is something that he is trying to explain here. Before we explain it, I want to show you a particular diagram before we come back here. So please observe. Okay, observe here. Nouns, al-asma, they could be mu'rab or mabni. That's what we have seen. Mu'rab, example, kitabun, and then haza. That is clear. Mabni is haza. Example. Just give you an example there. Then when we come to mu'rab, it could also be munsarif and then ghayr munsarif. Mu'rab nouns could be munsarif or ghayr munsarif. Munsarif simply means that they take fatha kasra dhamma. Now that changes, alright, but it has the potential to take fatha kasra dhamma. Ghayru munsarif, their nouns, they change, but they don't take all the elements. Example is these groups of nouns, we call them manu min as-sarf. You see those ones, they can take only, they don't take kesra, they only take dhamma and fatha. How that's clear. Ibrahima is an example. You only see Ibrahimu and Ibrahima, that's all. Okay, what is called Ibrahimu, that's marfu, and then analysis wa ahidina. Okay, wa ahidina ila Ibrahima. Of that is clear. So those ones, they only take dhamma and fatha. So those ones, they are ghayr munsarif. We call them ghayr munsarif. Even though they are mu'rab, they change alright, but they don't change as expected, like the normal pattern. When they are supposed to be majroor, they won't take fatha. All that is clear, certain. Okay. Then let's look at here also. There are two types of nouns. Mabni and then mu'rab. All this we have already seen it. Mu'rab nouns. So our concentration is here. It's mu'rab part. Mu'rab, there are different ways they could change. It's not always that it should be fatha kasra dhamma. No, it's not like that. Okay, example is like jamu muzakkar salim and jamu muannas salim. Those kind of things. Jamu example, especially jamu muzakkar salim. Okay, muslimina. All that. So such kind of things, they are also changing. Alright, but it's not fatha kasra dhamma that they are changing. All that is correct. So when a noun is mu'rab, it's not just that it changes by fatha kasra dhamma. It changes, but the fatha kasra dhamma now we know is the common one. And we call them primary ending, the primary i'rab. So i'rabul asli, primary i'rab, the fatha kasra dhamma, like kitabun, kitabin, kitaban. But there's also secondary ending, secondary i'rab. We call them al-i'rabul far'iyya. Second, far'ul actually means branch. Far of something means the branch of it. So far'iyya actually means secondary or like branch. That's of course secondary. So example is muslimina. It will be muslimuna, but here muslimina if it is majrur. So even though it has changed, but it's not fatha kasra dhamma. Okay, the muna, the wow has been, when it is majrur, the wow will go and ya will replace it. So they are also changing, but it is not the fatha kasra dhamma. So we call them secondary i'rab, al-i'rabul far'iyya. Then we have the last type, which is i'rabul taqdiriyya. Okay, estimated i'rab. Taqdir actually means to estimate something. Qaddara yuqaddiru, to estimate something. So i'rabul taqdiriyya means estimated i'rab. You don't see it physically, but you estimate it in your mind, like you just depict it. And that's it's a kind of example. Let's look at this example. Al-fatah. It should always be fatah. Fatah, ra'aytu al-fatah. Zahabtu ila al-fatah. Haza al-fatah. No matter whether marfu, whether it's in a state of nasb, it's in a state of jar, it's in a state of raf, it will be fatah. So this one, you don't see it changing, but we don't count it as part of mabni. Why? It's because that's what Arabic language sees. Those ones, they are the kind of imaginary things that we have. They are kind of imaginary. How that is the Al-Fatah. We call them our Takadiriya. That's why we estimate it in your mind. But you don't actually see it. But still, they don't count it as part of Mabdi. You don't see any change in it. But we see Arabic language tells us that they are still part of Morab. But we estimate them in our mind. Okay. So let's come back and see what the Sheikh is saying here. Sheikh says that Al-Alabatul I'rab Asliyatu wal Far'iyya is coming to talk about the Asliya, the primary endings, the primary I'rab, the Fatha Kasra Dhamma, wal Far'iyya, and those which changes but not the Fatha Kasra Dhamma, like the Muna and Mina and Jamu Wasaka Salim and others. We'll see them. So let's look at what he says. He says that Alabatul I'rab Asliyatu fil Ism. Okay, the signs of primary I'rab in nouns. Dhamma, وهي علامة الرفع. Dhamma, as I told you, is just Dhamma, Fatha Kasra. Okay, Fatha Kasra Dhamma. These three things that the common ones that we know. وهي علامة الرفع. So Dhamma is the alama of Raf, is the sign of Raf. والفتحة وهي علامة النصب. The Fatha, which is the sign of Nasb. والكسرة وهي علامة الجر. And Kasra, which is the sign of Jar. Then he says that وهناك علامات أخرى فرعية. And here, بمعنى there is. I would say hunaka, sometimes it means there is. Okay. So sometimes you ask you a question, هل هناك شيئا أو هل هناك سؤال? Is there a question? So that's nothing here. So وهناك علامة أخرى فرعية. And here there are some signs, they are secondary, meaning they don't take Fatha Kasra Dhamma, but still they are more, they change. وهي في أنواع الآتية, and it is in the following examples or in the following types, من الأسماء of nouns. So he's coming to give us those ones. The first one he mentioned is Jam'u Mu'annasu Salim. Jam'u Mu'annasu Salim, and we all know them. The feminine plural. Jam'u Mu'annasu Salim. Example is Muslimatu. Okay. Let's look at what he says. Alamatu Nasr fihi Kasra. The sign of it being mansub. Like when it is mansub, it's supposed to take fatha. It's Kasra, it will take Kasra. Now, خلق الله السماوات والأرض. So this is Jamu Mu'annasu Salim. So when it is mansub, it will take Kasra. Alamatul nasb fihi huwa al-Kasra al-Zahira ala akhirihi. There. I mean the common or the obvious Dhamma on its ending. Okay, خلق الله السماوات. So it only takes two things. Jamu Mu'annasu Salim, you only take two things. See something. You only take two things. Dhamma and then Kasra. Okay. Dhamma and then Kasra. Aside that, they don't take Fatha. So when it is Marfu, it will have Dhamma. So for example, you see Al-Muslimatu. That's clear. As-samawatu. But if it is mansub or majrur, it will take Kasra. So that's what Sheikh is telling us here. Then the second one, he says that al-mamnu min as-sarf. Of course, we all know mamnu min as-sarf. This announce that they don't take Kasra. Alamatul jar fihi fatha. When it is majrur, it will take fatha. Example. Izhab ila fir'auna. You see the ila is a half a jar. So this is majrur. But of course we know when it now is majrur, it should be taken Kasra. Based on the I'rab al-Asliya, when it is the primary I'rab. But here you see fir'auna is taken Fatha. So it is not a primary I'rab. It deviates from the normal primary I'rab. Primary I'rab, al-I'rab al-Asliya, simply means when it is marfu, it will take Dhamma. When it is mansub, it will take Fatha. When it is majrur, it will take Kasra. Oh, that is correct. Okay. Now let's look at the third example. He says that al-Asma'ul Khamsa. Asma'ul Khamsa. And we all know Asma'ul Khamsa. وهي أبوك أخوك هموك فوك Zumalin. So Abun, Ahun, Hamun, Famun, and Zu, these are the Asma'ul Khamsa. So these words, when they come as Mudof, like something is attached to it, it is Mudof Ilay, and it is the one which is Mudof, it will be having Waw for Marfu, Alif for Mansub, and Ya for Majrur. We have studied Asma'ul Khamsa before. Asma'ul Khamsa, when they are marfu, they will have wa. All that is clear. Like Abuka, you can see the wow here. But when it is mansub, it will have alif. For example, Abaka, Ra'aitu, Abaka. The wow will turn to alif. Abaka, not Abuka. And when it is majrur, they will have ya. All that is clear. They will have ya. So, for example, Zahabtu ila abika. So these are the Asma'ul Khamsa. That's how they change. And as I said, this was something strange for us. We have seen this before. So that's what Sheikh is simply saying. Then he said that kulul alamat fiha far'iyya. All the alama, the signs in it, they are far'iyya. Of course, this is not fatha kasra dhamma. It's waw, alif, and ya. So that's how they change. So they are more, but they don't change with kasra fatha dhamma. They change with the signs. Okay. So alama to raf al waw. The sign of raf is waw. Now, Ajaka Abuka as your father came. Alamatul Nasb al Alif. The sign of Nasb is Alif. That's what I've said. Now, Arifu Abaka, I know your father. Alamatul Jar Ya. The sign of Jar of it being Majnur is that it will get Ya. Abika. Now, Aina Sayyaratu Abika. Where's the car of your father? Your father's car. How does it go? Then he says that Turabul Asma'ul Khamsa bihadhihi al-alamat. He says that the Asma'ul Khamsa, these 5 nouns, they are known with these signs. The signs that they take waw when they are marfu, alif when they are mansub, and ya when they are majrur. إذا كانت مضافة, if they are مضاف إلى غير ياء المتكلم, with a thing that is not except ya. If they are مضاف to something with the exception of ya, no matter when they are مضاف and ya is mudaf ilay, they don't hold. Now when doesn't hold, but with the exception of ya, if they are mudaf to any other thing, if they are mudaf and any other thing is mudaf ilay to them, they are going to have the signs that we have described. So here Abu Kya, you see the Kya is mudaf ilay, and it is one ya. If it is ya, it will remain like that. For example, Abi, my father. So Haza Abi, Ra'aitu Abi, Zahabtu ila Abi. Because of that ya which has attached, it will always remain as it is. It doesn't change. And that's the nature of the ya mutakallim. Kitabi. Okay, Haza Kitabi, Ra'aitu Kitabi. Okay. It doesn't change. When that ya mutakallim comes, the noun remain as it is. So that's why it's accepting that ya. Then he mentioned the 4th one. He says that Jamu Muzakkar Salim, Kullu alamatu fihi far'iyya, wa hiya, all the signs in it, they are far'iyya, they are secondary. Then he mentioned the alamatu rafl al waw. For the Jamu Muzakkar Salim, we all know that when they are marfu, they will have waw. Example, Muslimuna. But when they are mansub and majrur, they will have ya. How that is clear. See, example, Muslimuna, Haza, or I will say, Haula'il Muslimuna. How that is clear. Haula'il Muslimuna, Keza wa Keza wa Keza. Then, ya is also there. And ya is when they are mansub or majrur. Example, ذهبت إلى المسلمين. That is majmur. Or رأيت المسلمين. We have stated Jamu Muzakkar Salim before. When they are mafud, they take wow. When they are mansub or majmur, they take ya. The Sheikh is giving an example. He says that علامات الرفع واو نحو دخل المدرسون. The teachers enter. علامات النصب يا. When they are mansub, the sign of the nasb is ya. نحو سألت المدرسين. And the last one, علامات الجر يا. When they are majrur, they have ya as is sign that shows that. Now, example, هذه غرفة المدرسين. أو that is clear. غرفة المدرسين. This is مضاف إليه. غرفة is مضاف إليه. رسينة is مضاف إليه. And we all know مضاف إليه دائما يعرب ماذا؟ يعرب مجرور. Okay. Then المثنى. The dual. Duals are also like that. كل العلامات فيه فرعية. All the signs in it, they are فرعية. They are secondary. You are here. And they are علامات الرفع الألف. When they are marfu, they will have alif. Alamatul nasb ya. When they are mansub, they will have ya. Alamatul jar ya. So observe. When they are marfu, they will have alif. Example. Hazani. Or that is clear. Or I simply say kitabani. Okay. In the kitabani, I have 2 books. But when they are majrur, how that is clear. وَدَعْتُهَا عَلَى الْكِتَابَيْنِ. At least it on the 2 books. So ala comes, it will now be kitabayni. It will not be bani. It will now be bayni. The alif will take to ya. So that's what he's saying. When they are majmur, they will take ya. Then the last one is when they are mansub. How that is clear. They will take ya again. So they also have only 2. Alif and ya. Alif and ya. When they are marfu, they will have alif. When they are masuk or majrur, they will take ya. So example of masuk is if I say أخذ المدرس كتابين. أخذ المدرس كتابين. The teacher took the 2 books. So in that case, it is maf'ul bihi, and we know maf'ul bihi is always masuk. So it will be kitabayni, not kitabani. Okay. Then we get to the last part. Sheikh is saying that al-i'rab al-taqdiri. Al-i'rab al-taqdiri, the estimated i'rab, they are those which are also estimated. And as I told you, those one they are kind of imaginary. You don't actually see the changes, but they are as they are. Arabic language tells us that they are not mabni, and they are also counted as part of mu'rab nouns. And so that's what she is saying. Let's see what he says. He says that لا تظهر علامات الإعراب في 3 أنواع. The signs of Arab, they don't show in 3 types of nouns. There are some 3 categories of nouns. We don't see any change, any sign of the Arab, the change of Arab in them. But they are still mu'rab nouns. So he said that فَتُقَدَّرُ فِيهَا الْعَلَامَاتِ. And so the signs are estimated. The signs are estimated. The changes are estimated. We only imagine them, but we don't really see it. وَهَذِهِ الْأَنْوَاءُ here. And these types are here. They are those that follows. It's how we need to count them. Al-awwal, the first one he mentioned is al-maqsoor, meaning ism maqsoor. There are some nouns that we call ism maqsoor. And ism maqsoor, they are actual nouns that is with alif. Let's see what he says. He says that huwa al-ism al-mu'rab. They are mu'rab nouns. Allazi akhiruhu alifun lazima. They are mu'rab nouns whose endings are alif and lazima. Now, example, mustashfa, al-fata, al-asr. So this nouns that is, be it alif mamduda or alif maksura, Now that ends with these two things, two types of alifs. We call them ism maksur. And those nouns, whether they are in a state of marfu, they are in a state of majrur, they are in a state of mansub, you will see anything that gives you an indication that they are in those respective cases. But we only estimate them. That's what Sheikh is telling us here. Example, let's see. He says that تقدر فيه العلامات الثلاث. There are three signs. That's nasb, jar, and raf. They are estimated in them. Now, example. قتل الفتى الأفعى بالعصا. The man killed the snake. Al-af'a is snake, particularly the viper. That's what it was af'a. Bil-asr with a stick. So qatal al-fata. Al-fata here is marfu. Why? It is the dua, the fa'il. So al-fata. No, there's no sign to show that it is marfu. There's no dhamma or there's no waw or anything that shows that. Al-af'a. Qatal al-fata al-af'a. The man or the boy. Al-fata is the young boy. He killed the snake al-af'a, the viper. And al-af'a is maf'ulun bihi, which is mansub. But there's no sign to show that it is mansub. No fatha, no alif, nothing. So we estimate it. We only estimate it. That's what we mean by al-i'rab al-takdiri. Okay, this group of nouns is mansub. Those nouns, they are not mabni. Those only thing they are mabni. They change, alright. So if they ask you to do the Arab of this, let's say this af'ar, that's what she will come and tell us here. So let's see what it says. And the same similar thing over here. Bil asr, you see the B is a half a jar, but there's no kisra or anything to show that it is majhul. We only estimate it in your head. How that's clear. So تقول في أعراب هذه الكلمات, you say, man, if they ask you what is the Arab, this is what you should say. Al-Fatah fa'il marfu'un is the fa'il which is marfu'. Alamatu raf'ihi dhammatul muqaddara. The sign of the marfu' in it is dhammatul muqaddara. Meaning this al-Fatah, this dhamma, alright. This alif should take dhamma. But in Arabic language, alif doesn't take a letter, a vowel. Alif in itself is not a letter. We have to know that. Okay, alif is not part of the letters in Arabic language. So you have to know that. It's Hamza, which is a letter. But alif is actually not a letter. It comes for support. Okay, when Hamza is coming, then it comes and Hamza will stand on it. Or when you need to prolong something, then it will come for you to use it to prolong. But it in itself is not a letter. It's not counted as part of the letters. And so you cannot give it a vowel to stand on it. So even though you have dhamma, but as I said, alif doesn't take a dhamma on its own, except there's a hamza on it. So you cannot say al-fata'u. How that is correct. So we don't put, as I said, we don't put dhamma or fatha or kesra on an alif. We have to know that. So other than that, we will have put it there. So if they ask you, give the Arab of this fatha, and you say it is marfu wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-dhammatul muqaddara. It's an estimated dhamma, or it's a hidden dhamma. It's a dhamma that you can't see. It should have been there, but because it's ended with an alif, alif doesn't take a vowel. We don't put it on it. We only estimate it, think it in our head, and know that there's a dhamma hidden there. So that's what Sheikh is telling us. Al-af'a, the viper, here, it is maf'ulun bihi also. So Sheikh is saying, maf'ulun bihi mansubun. It is maf'ulun bihi, which is mansub. Wa alamatu nasbihi, and the sign of his nasb is that fathatul muqaddara. It is also having fatha, which is estimated, which is we think it. We don't put it on it. Okay. The same thing with the last one, al-asr. Al-asr here. Majrur. Remember, it is majrur bi ba. Majrur bi ba. The ba there gives it or makes it majrur. The ba there makes it majrur. Bi asr. Alamatul jar here kasratun muqaddara is a kasra which is estimated. Okay. Then, so that's the first type. The first type is Ism Maksur. If you can remember, he said there are 3 classes of nouns that have this estimated i'rab. Okay, let me show you where he said that. See. He said here that, I hope you can see here. Okay. لا تظهر علامات الإعراب في 3 أنواع. You can see 3, meaning there are 3 categories of nouns that will take. The first one is Ism Maksur, and we are seeing what Ism Maksur means. Nouns in Arabic language that ends with alif, be it alif mamduda, the alif that looks like 1, or alif maksura, the alif that looks like ya. These 2, they are both alif. So if any noun in Arabic is ending with it, it will have an i'rab that is taqdiri. The second group, he said that al-manqus, the manner ism manqus. There's another group of noun in Arabic that we call them ism manqus or asma'ul manqusa. Ism manqus. Let's look at them. He says that هو الاسم المعرب الذي آخره ياء لازمة مرصوب ما قبلها. It is nouns in Arabic language. They ends with ya. So note, they ends with ya. They ends with ya. Then he says what? Maksur ma qablaha. The one, the letter that precedes it has kesra. It has a kesra. The second last letter is having kesra, and the last letter in itself is a ya. So such a noun in Arabic language, we call it ism manqus. Oh, that is correct. Example: Al-Qadi, the judge. Al-Muhami, the lawyer. Asani, the second. So such nouns: Al-Madi, previous, the past. Al-Wadi, the valley. Al-Ma'ani, the meanings. So such nouns in Arabic language, we call them Asma'ul Manqusa or Ism Manqus, which is a noun that ends with ya, and the previous letter, man, and the second last letter is having kesra. So we call them Ism Manqus. Those ones too, they have estimated i'rab. We don't really see the endings having any vowel on them. So Al-Qadi, the judge, wherever it is, wherever it found itself in a sentence, it will be Qadi. You never see Al-Qadi. No. It will be Qadi. No. It will just be Qadi, written like that. All that, except in one case, you will see it, the shape will tell us. He says that تقدر فيه ضمة والكسر. So don't confuse Ism Maksur and Ism Manqus. They are different. The first one we saw were those ending with alif. Okay, alif mamduda or maksura. But this one is ending with ya, and the previous letter is having a kesra. So that's what we term as Ism Manqus. Okay. You see that together with Dhamma and Kesra. Dhamma and Kesra is estimated in them. Imagine you see Dhamma or Kesra on it. On the last letter, the ya that you are seeing. What does how feel Fatha? The Fatha is obvious. You can see Fatha. When it is Mansub, the Fatha, the ya will have Fatha. Oh, that is correct. Now, example. Sa'ala al-Qadi al-Muhamiyya anil Jami. So the Qadi, the judge, he asked al-Muhamiyya. So when it is Mansub, all these nouns that you are seeing, this is Manqus, Asma'ul Manqusa that we have seen those examples. When they are Mansub, you see Fatha on them, on the last letter, the ya. But when it is Dhamma and Kesra, you leave them as they are. Al-Qadi, you put Dhamma or Kesra. The ya, you are seeing, we don't put Dhamma or Kesra on them. We only put Fatha, and that's when it is Mansub. So that's what he's saying. تقدم فيه الضمة والكسرة. Dhamma and Kesra is estimated. We don't write it, we only think it. وتظهر فيه الفتحة. And Fatha, however, Fatha is obvious. It's written. Now, example. And that's the example that we have read. And the Jani, about the criminal. So سأل القاضي المحامية عن الجاني. The Qadi, the judge, asked the lawyer about or of the journey, the criminal. Okay. He said that تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمات. I mean the Arab, he tells us the Arab. Al-Qadi is fa'il marfu. Of course, the Qadi is the one doing he is the doer. So because he's the one action, so he's the doer. Sa'al al-Qadi. Okay. So it is marfu wa alamatu raf'ihi dhammatul muqaddar. We have already said it. Dhamma and kasra are estimated to say muqaddar. Al-Muhami, it is maf'ulun bihi, so it's supposed to be mansub. Wa alamatu nasbihi al-fathatun zahira. And we said when it is mansub, it will have fatha on it, on the ya, obvious. So it's only when it is mansub that you will see the vowel written on it. But when it is marfu, it's supposed to have dhamma, or it's supposed to have kasra. We don't write it on the ya. We will only estimate it. So it is going to be muqaddara. So see here, muqaddara. Why? When it is having dhamma, meaning when it is marfu, or when it is majrur, when it is supposed to take kasra, we only estimate it. But when it is going to take fatha, we simply put the fatha on it. So it is going to be zahir, obvious. Oh, that is clear. Okay. He's saying that وقد يكون المنقوص محذوف الياء نحو. He said that the manqus, بمعنى the اسم manqus, the manqus nouns, they could be without the ya. We said manqus, if you look at here what he says, المنقوص هو الاسم المعرب الذي آخره ياء لازمة. We said that manqus nouns are nouns, they end with ya, a previous letter having the kasra. And now he's telling us that manqus nouns, they could sometimes come without ya, with the ya removed. It's not that it doesn't have a ya, it has, just that it is removed. So that's what he's saying here. وقد يكون المنقوص محذوف الياء. A manqus now could come with the ya removed. Mahzuf means removed. Oh, that is correct. The actual verb is hazifa or hazafa, which means to remove something, to delete something. Oh, that is correct. They say that nahu, example, ذهب قاضٍ إلى محامٍ. The qadi, the judge, he went to the lawyer. So look at here, qadin. Here we saw al-qadi. Here, al-qadi. I hope you can see al-qadi, or better still here, al-qadi. Now let me tell you something. When manqus nouns come, and then the ya will be there when they are having alif wa lam. I hope that is clear. But if the alif wa lam goes, the ya will also go away. I hope that is clear. Okay. So observe something here. He's saying that he's giving an example. نحو example ذهب قاضٍ إلى محامٍ. تقول في إعراب هاتين الكلمتين. So here you can see they doesn't have both of them that comes without the ya. They don't have alif wa lam. So you have to note that when a manqus now comes and they don't have alif wa lam, they will have their ya removed. I hope that's clear. Qadin muhamin. I hope that's clear. Madin. But when there's alif wa lam, we say al-madi with ya at the end. But if the alif wa lam is gone, it will be madin. Okay. Now let's look at the i'rab. He says that qadin, how will you give the i'rab of this? ذهب قاضٍ إلى محامٍ. فاعل مرفوع. It is the fa'il, the doer, it is marfu'. علامة رفعه, the sign that shows that it is marfu' is what? Is dhamma. Of course, we said there is dhamma on the ya, just that it is not written. But here the ya is removed. Then it's not this one. You have to know that there is a ya here. it is actually al-Qadi, but I said when the alif or lam is not there, we will remove the ya. Oh, that is clear. Aha. And that ya, as I told you previously, it was carrying the vowel, and it is hidden. We don't write it on it. Oh, that is clear. It is hidden vowel on it. So if they ask you to give the Arab, you are going to see that it is marfu. Wa alamatu raf'ihi, and the sign that it is marfu is dhammatun muqaddaratun ala ya'in mahzufa. A dhamma that is estimated on the ya which has been removed. So that's what you see. Alamatu raf'ihi dhammatun muqaddara ala ya'in mahzufa. Then Muhammad, similar thing for Muhammad. If they ask you, you can see here is in the position of majrur. So the Arab, if you are asked to do the Arab, you say it is majrur bi-ila, bi-mana, by the ila. The ila is what makes it majrur. And then you say wa alamatu jarrihi, and the sign of its majrur case is al-kasratul muqaddara ala ya'il mahzufa. The kasra which has been removed, which has been estimated. So see, it was actually al-muhami. Actual verb is al-muhami. As I told you, if the alif wa lam goes, the ya will go. So, and that ya is carrying, if it is majrur, the ya will carry the kasra. Just that we don't write it. We only estimate it. It is there, that it is not written, but we think it. Oh, that's clear. So that's what we mean by muqaddara. Kasratul muqaddara ala ya. So that is initially there. But because the alif wa lam is also not there, the ya will go away. Then so we now see al-kasratul muqaddara ala ya il mahzufa, on the ya which has been removed. Oh, that is clear. Okay. Mawqus verbs and mawqus nouns, they are a bit tricky. They are a bit tricky. You have to know that they are not normal like all other nouns in Arabic language. They deviate a little bit from the normal pattern. How that's clear, the normal rulings of Arabic nouns. So you have to be, they are a little bit tricky. So don't let it confuse you if you are not catching up. Just try to revise and go over the explanation. Inshallah, you will get it. How that is clear. Okay. And as we go further, we'll still talk more about them. Okay. Then the third example the Sheikh is given is al-mudaf ila ya al-mutakallim. I've explained this before. When the ya al-mutakallim is attached to a noun, samili, my colleague, kitabi, my book, kalami, my pen. All these ones, when they are marfu, mansub, or majrur, you will see the sign on them. So kitabi, haza kitabi, it is marfu, but you don't see dhamma on it. You can say kitabu, you see haza kitabi. All that is correct. Still, when it is mansub, so if I say akhadha al-mudarrisu kitabi, the teacher took my book, it is mansub, but you don't see fatha on it, the kitabi. So when ya is attached to a noun, the same way, the sign that shows that it is either marfu, mansub, or majrur, it is going to be estimated. It's going to be muqaddara. It's only we think of it, we estimate it, but we don't write it on it. So zamili, no matter where it found itself in the sentence, you don't put kasra or fatha or dhamma on the ya. You can say zamili or zamiliya or zamili. No, it's going to be zamili. It will remain like that, no matter the effect that happens or that comes to it. So he says that تقدر فيه العلامات الثلاث. The three signs are estimated in them. نحو دعا جدي أستاذي مع زملائي. My grandfather invited Ustazi, my teacher, with my colleagues. So see here, Jaddi is marfu, but Jaddi Ustazi is maf'ul bihi mansub, but it's no fatha. It's still Ustazi. Ma'a, don't remember, Ma'a is jar. When it comes to it gives the following noun harf jar. It gives the following noun. It makes the following noun majrur. So zumala'i, so jaddi, ustazi, zumala'i. They are all the same. There's no fatha kasra dhamma on any of them, but they are different. I mean, their mahal, their case, their position in the sentence are totally different. This is marfu, this is masu, and this is majrur, but there's no sign on them. So, but if you are asked to give the error, you have to see that this is marfu. Of course, you see it is marfu. وعلامة رفعه الضمة المقدرة على الياء. All that is clear. So look at what Sheikh is saying. تقول في إعراب هذه الكلمات the Arab of the following words are going to be جدي فاعل المرفوع. It is the fa'il, the doer, and it is the marfu. علامة رفعه, the sign of the رفعه is ضمة المقدرة, is a dhamma that is estimated. Because the ja al-mutakallim is attached to it, don't put dhamma on it. I hope that is clear. Okay. Then also, what you need to know is that someone can ask a question that Jaddi, Ustazi, how do you know that this, which one is the maf'ul bihi and which one is the fa'il? Because one is, you can see, you can understand it to mean my Ustaz called my grandfather. Da'a Ustazi, Da'a Jaddi Ustazi Ma'azumala'i. You can understand it to mean my Ustaz called my grandfather and my colleagues, or you can understand it to mean my grandfather called my Ustaz and my colleagues. What you need to know is that in Arabic we have certain verb, dua, and then object. Verb, dua, and object. You have to understand this is a normal pattern. So, of a jumla fi'liya, a verbal sentence. When a verbal sentence, then you see the verb come first, followed by the dua, and then the object. So these are the objects. So that's the normal pattern of an Arabic jumla fi'liya, even though it may be different. But if there's no haraka on it, we understand it as the verb comes first, followed by the dua, and then the object. Okay, but you can interchange the position and make sure there's an indication to separate that this is what you mean. Oh, that's clear. You can bring the object first, or you can bring the object second. Then you can bring the object second, or you can bring the dua second. Any of the two, you can interchange their position. The dua and the object position, you can interchange them. If only you are putting haraka on it to distinguish different differentiation. Okay. Then the second of Sheikh says that Ustazi, maf'ul bihi mansub wa alamatu nasbihi fathatul muqaddara. Of course, we have said it. Zumala'i is in the position of what? Majrur. So mudafun ilayhi, of course. When ma'a comes, ma'a is acting as a mudaf. So you need to remember that. So mudafun ilayhi majrur. Alamatu jarrihi kasratul muqaddara. So that is it. That's the Makus verbs. Now we are going to continue here, but we will pause here. In order not to make the lesson so long. So we'll pause here, inshallah, in the next lesson to continue from this particular part. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن الحكيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.